Trump management was charged with discriminating against African Americans and breaking federal law.
I was denied an apartment in the Trump buildings based on the color of my skin.
The Department of Justice claimed victory, but the Trumps never admitted any wrongdoing.
Is this you discussing Indian blood? We're going to judge people by whether they have Indian blood, whether they're qualified to run a gaming casino or not?
That probably is me, absolutely. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at some of the reservations, I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me. Well, you go up to Connecticut and you look, now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
Thank God that's not the test of whether or not people have rights in this country or not, whether or not they pass your look test.
Depends whether, yeah.
He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
On Monday, Donald Trump visited California to offer support, and he offered some climate change denial as well.
It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Hey, well, I don't think science knows, actually.
And if you look at death,
started to go up again.
Well, right here, the United States is lowest in numerous categories. We're lower than the world.
Lower than the world?
Lower than
What does that
Europe.
mean? In what?
Look.
In what?
Take a look. Right here. Here's case death.
Oh, you're doing death as a proportion of cases. I'm talking about death as a proportion of population. That's where the US is really bad.
Well,
much worse than South Korea, Germany, etc.
You can't do that. You have
Why
to go.
can't I do that?
You have to go by where. Look, here is the United States.
It's surely a relevant statistic to say if the US has X population and X percentage of death of that population.
No. When you talk about mortality rates, I think it's the opposite. I think we have one of the lowest mortality rates in the world.
We're going to take a look. We had 900 deaths on a single day.
We will take a look.
This week.
Ready?
You can check it out.
Could you please get me the mortality rate?
Yeah.
Kaylee's right here. I heard we had one of the lowest, maybe the lowest mortality rate anywhere in the world.
The CDC said that people should wear masks on April 3rd. You said you weren't going to. CDC says if everybody wore a mask for 4 to 6 weeks, we could get this under control. Do you regret not wearing a mask in public from the start? And will you consider a national mandate that people need to wear masks?
No, I want people to have a certain freedom, and I don't believe in that, no. And I don't agree with the statement that if everybody wear a mask, everything disappears. I think that at some point that's going to sort of just disappear, I hope. I'll be right eventually. I will be right eventually. You know, I said it's going to disappear. I'll say it again.
But
it's going to disappear.
Much more stark false claim from the president yesterday, this time about crime in that meeting with sheriffs.
The murder rate in our country is the highest it's been in 47 years, right? Did you know that? Because the press doesn't tell it like it is.
The press doesn't say it's a secret because it's not true.
You can see right there, the murder rate hit a high decades ago. It is nowhere near the highest at this point.
They say a wall is medieval. Well, so is a wheel. A wheel is older than a wall. You know what uranium is, right? It's a thing called nuclear weapons and other things. Like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things. No obstruction. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings of that investigation. The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges, how it started. In the failing New York Times by an anonymous, really an anonymous, gutless coward. You just look. This is the very definition of totalitarianism. They sacrifice every day for the furniture and future of their children. And let me begin by wishing you a beautiful, look, you remember this? Do you remember? You came from wherever you came from. You appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. Mike Bolton, as you know, is in Russia. Mike Pound, Justice Anthony, you know who I'm talking about. Dickinson, Hologic and Cephahide, and open our hearts and minds to possible and possibilities based on the core principles of fairness and reciprocity. What? In June of 1775, the Continental Congress created a unified army. Our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. Although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird.
And then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
That's a little confused right there. The makers of Lysol have responded to what the president said. Lauren, what are they saying?
The Lysol makers say this: as a global leader in health and hygiene products, we must be clear that under no circumstance should our disinfectant products be administered into the human body through injection, ingestion, or any other route.
And if he wasn't born in this country, which is a real possibility, then he has pulled one of the great cons in the history of politics.
He could have been born in Kenya and gone over to the United States, and everybody wants to be a U.S. citizen.
Do you accept that what he produced is valid?
No, I don't necessarily.
But do you believe he probably was born in America?
No. I say he might have been.
If the state of Hawaii says this is official, he was born in Hawaii on this date, here it is, why do you deny that?
A lot of people do not think it was an authentic certificate.
How can you say that if this
report it, Will? His mother
There are claims circulating in social media that Kamala Harris is not eligible to run for vice president because she was an anchor baby, I quote. Do you or can you definitively say whether or not Kamala Harris is eligible, meets the legal requirements to run as vice president?
So I just heard that. I heard it today that she doesn't meet the requirements. And by the way, the lawyer that wrote that piece is a very highly qualified, very talented lawyer.
To be president or vice president of the United States, she obviously is qualified to be vice president. She is a natural-born citizen of the United States who was born in this country. But the president was asked about this crackpot theory that is shown up on right-wing media, suggesting that Senator Harris is not qualified to be a vice president. That is just a flat-out lie. It's not the case. It was a lie when they said it about Barack Obama. It's now a lie when they're saying it about Kamala Harris. But I want to begin there because there were lots of things to fact-check, as always, during this press conference with the president.
I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman, and he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for.
We have an opportunity today to condemn or condone. Birtherism is racist. Saying a Mexican judge can't be fair because of his heritage is racist. Saying immigrants from Mexico are rapists is racist. Saying there were good people on both sides in Charlottesville is racist. Calling African countries shithole countries is racist. And telling 4 members of this body to go home is racist.
These are people that if they don't like it here, they can leave.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.